Today is February 8th, and we're going to be planting some celery in our region. It takes quite a while for celery to grow. I always start it inside. And also, I'm going to experiment with starting some watermelon inside and then transporting, planting. I did find a couple of years ago that starting them direct seed outside after the last frost worked well, but I want to see if there's any difference starting it inside this early. Here are the peppers I planted on January 19. The green peppers on the right coming up really nicely. The banana peppers, only one's come up, and I realized that I used seed from probably 3 years ago. So I just reseeded this last week, and hopefully within the next 7 days we'll see some sprouts. We'll start with the watermelon. These are blacktail watermelon seeds. They produce about a 6 to 8 inch radius watermelon. They're pretty tasty. I'm going to plant 2 seeds per pot here. Now these seeds are from last year. This should be fine. I'm going to save the rest for outside. So with celery seed, I'm not too fancy, or I'm not too orderly with it. Celery is actually does not get upset when you try to transplant it like a lot of plants. I can pull it up root and all and replant it without any issue. Last year what happened is I did that, and then we had a pretty hot day the next day, and I think probably the whole week, and did not water as much as I should have, and I probably should have put some shade over it, and they all died. So that is one thing that when you're putting transplants out, gotta keep it watered and shaded if you can. Okay, so probably just gonna make 2 rows. Pretty clumpy. 2 rows, and then we'll see how they do. I've used the pelleted seeds, and I don't really like those. They don't seem to germinate very well. I'm planting a lot more than what probably is recommended, but they don't all germinate, so I always overseed. These are very easy to thin once they get to the point where they're, I don't know, maybe 3 inches. You want to start to thin them out, move them around, and of course you want to cut back their tops until you put them outside. Might even put some right in the middle too. So these, you can surface sow them, or you can put a little bit of dirt over them like I did. And hopefully usually by the month of September is when we're harvesting this. It's very good. It's got a good peppery taste, and celery homegrown is so much better than buying it in the store. You get to cut it fresh when you need it, cut off of one stalk from the whole plant, or you can cut the whole thing and eat it right away. Some of it will freeze dry, some of it will cut up and freeze for the winter for soups, but I like to eat it raw as well. All right, so it's time to pot up. We're graduating these from the soil blocks into 4-inch clay pots. Unfortunately, we have to start over almost a month later because our cat got into these. So we're going to be behind on a few. I think it's still early enough where it's okay though. So all I do is I fill it up to the collar here. Tuck it in there, and then we take some soil. Make sure there's no air gaps. And these will stay in these pots until we transplant them outside. They will start to get a little too big for these pots, but I opted for the 4-inch versus the 6 for space. I fill these up in these flats as much as I can. That one should survive. I am planting these a little bit deeper. Here's an update on the peppers. As I said earlier, they do grow slow. Some of these I did have to start over with because my cat got in here and ate the tops off. All right, here's the watermelon that we planted last month. This has some basil that we just planted the other day. And here's the celery. Starts off slow, but starting to pick up speed now. This is some arugula that I planted probably 2 weeks ago. I'm probably going to start some flowers inside here too. Got a little bit more room. Do some room down here, but I don't know what it is. So I bought brand new pepper seeds and maybe only a quarter of them germinated. Now I'm out of time. So what you see here is what I'll be planting this summer.